History books love to talk about the icons, the Spitfire, the Tiger tank, the B-17. But icons didn't win World War II. It was won by the ugly ducklings, weapons so strange, so secret, and so brutally effective that the enemy actually thought the Allies were breaking the rules of war. German commanders, trained in the finest military academies, had a plan for everything. They had the thickest armor and the biggest guns. But then, they encountered a series of American tricks, devices that defied the laws of physics and turned their invincible fortresses into death traps. Today, we are stripping away the glory of the legends to reveal the 5 most unfair weapons in the American arsenal. These aren't just tools, they were the secret hacks that ended the war. And number 1 on our list was so classified that its existence was guarded as closely as the atomic bomb. The Japanese Imperial Army had a doctrine: fight to the last man from inside a mountain. They built miles of tunnels and bunkers that were immune to bombs and bullets. It was a tactical stalemate until the M2 arrived. The M2 Flamethrower wasn't just a weapon, it was an oxygen thief. It could spray burning jellied gasoline 40 yards into a bunker's slit, turning a fortress into a furnace in seconds. The psychological impact was so primal that Japanese soldiers who would happily charge into machine gun fire would break and run at the mere sight of a flamethrower team. It was horrific, it was controversial, and it was the only thing that could break the Pacific deadlock. The Germans prided themselves on their superior mobility, yet they still relied on millions of horses to move their guns. The Americans had a different idea. They took the chassis of a light tank and turned it into the M4 high-speed tractor. This was the invisible backbone of the war. It could haul a 155mm long tom cannon through mud and snow that would swallow a truck whole. Because of the M4, American artillery could shoot and scoot, firing a devastating barrage and vanishing before the Germans could even range their guns. To a German commander, it felt like American artillery was everywhere at once. They weren't fighting an army, they were fighting an automated machine. By 1944, German Panther and Tiger crews felt like gods. Their armor was so thick that American Sherman shells just bounced off like pebbles. They thought they were safe at 2,000 yards. Then they met the M36 Jackson. The M36 was a glass cannon. It had almost no armor, but it carried the 90mm M3 gun, a weapon the Germans didn't even know existed in large numbers. During the Battle of the Bulge, elite Panther crews were suddenly being sniped from distances they thought were impossible. The Jackson nullified Germany's only advantage, their heavy steel. It was the ultimate equalizer that turned the hunters into the hunted. At the Battle of Tarawa, the US Navy made a fatal mistake. They miscalculated the tides, and their landing boats got stuck on sharp coral reefs 500 yards from the beach. Marines were forced to wade through chest-deep water into a wall of Japanese machine gun fire. It was a massacre. Except for one vehicle, the LVT Alligator. Originally a civilian rescue boat for Florida swamps, this ugly tractor was the only thing that could crawl over the jagged reefs and deliver troops directly to the sand. It saved the invasion from total collapse. Without this forgotten swamp boat, the island hopping campaign would have ended at the very first beach. And now, the number 1. The weapon that the US military feared falling into enemy hands more than anything else. The VT, or proximity fuse. Before this, hitting a fast-moving plane with a shell was like trying to hit a bird with a rock from a mile away. You had to guess the time and height perfectly. American scientists changed that by cramming a radio station into the nose of a shell. This tiny device would sense when it was near a target and explode automatically. In the Pacific, it tripled the effectiveness of anti-aircraft fire. During the V1 buzz bomb attacks on London, it increased the kill rate from 24% to a staggering 79%. And when it was finally used on the ground in the Battle of the Bulge, German soldiers found themselves in a storm of steel that exploded in the air above their foxholes. There was no cover, there was no escape. It was the illegal advantage that Germany could never match. The flamethrower, the tractor, the Jackson, the LVT, and the magic fuse. These weren't the glamorous icons of the movies. They were the gritty, ingenious, and unfair solutions to impossible problems. They proved that you don't win a world war by being the most honorable. You win by being the most creative. Which of these hacks do you think was the most decisive? Was it the tank-killing Jackson or the secret radio fuses in the sky? Let us know in the comments. We want to hear your take. And if you want to see the moment the Germans realized their invincible fortresses were useless, check out our video on the Battle of Kwajalein right here. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell. History is more than just dates. It's about the machines that changed the world.